The Philippine National Police reminds netizens not to post at-the-moment photos on social media during the long weekend. The Department of Transportation reminds shipping operators to uphold passenger rights at all times. The Department of Trade and Industry closely monitors prices of fish and chicken in local markets ahead of the Lenten break. And Wish Covery Season 1 winner Princess Sevillana, now bound for New York to take up vocal trainings and other projects. Good evening. The police reminds the public not to post at-the-moment photos of their vacation for their own safety. The Philippine National Police will also deploy more than 25,000 policemen all over the country for the security during the summer vacation and the upcoming midterm elections. Lea Ilagan tells us why.
The police remind Filipinos who will be spending out-of-town vacation to refrain from posting ATM or at-the-moment photos and events on social media for their safety. Philippine National Police spokesperson Police Colonel Bernard Vanak said they have prepared flyers and leaflets to be distributed to the places of convergence. Written in the flyers are safety tips such as do not post ATM or real-time pictures online.
Hanggat maaari, i-delay mo na update natin ng mga posts social media nang sa gayon ay hindi po tayo makakapagbigay ng mga real-time information sa mga nagbabalak ng hindi maganda na maaring looban yung ating pamamahay at doon na rin sa ating personal security. Halimbawa yung mga tao na may mga threats sa kanilang buhay.
The police also gave an advice on how to be safe while enjoying the long holiday this month and the vacation. Lock the doors and windows of your house if you are heading for an out-of-town vacation. Unplug all electrical appliances before leaving the house. For those who will go to the beach, avoid wearing jewelries. Do not bring expensive electronic gadgets and large amount of money. Make sure your kids wear identification cards. Do not let children swim alone or unaccompanied by an adult. And take note of where the first aid station and police assistance desk in the place. The police also advise those who will ride a plane, a bus, or a ship. Go to the transport terminal ahead of the scheduled departure. Secure your ticket, passport, and luggage and always stay vigilant and alert. For those who will take the North Luzon Expressway or NLEX and Subic-Clark-Tarlac Expressway or SETEX for the long holiday, there will be additional 700 tellers and patrol officers to be deployed. They will also provide free towing services for Class 1 vehicles from April 17 to 22. Real-time traffic situations on NLEX and SETEX can be viewed via live streaming on their Facebook pages. 25,723 policemen have been deployed to man 4,548 police assistance desks nationwide for the security of the public during the long vacation as well as during the May elections.
Lahat ng ating mga police assistance desks and centers ay naroon sa mga bus terminals, airports, seaports at maging doon sa mga major highways natin. So meron pong mga travel assistance points along the highway, lalong-lalo na yung mga papunta ng north, south, at maging sa mga major highways in Bicol, Visayas, and the entire Mindanao.
Banak added the PNP will be on heightened alert status until the end of the election period on June 12.
Nagkaroon na tayo ng adjustment sa ating deployment sa bahagi ng Mindanao. May mga karagdagang deployment doon na pinapatupad ng ating mga police regional offices.
Lea Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Various government agencies are preparing for the influx of passengers in transport terminals for the long weekend. Let's find out what are the rights of sea passengers from Victor Cosare.
The Maritime Industry Authority or Marina, in collaboration with the Department of Transportation or DOTR and the Philippine Ports Authority, launched today the Information Awareness Campaign on the rights of sea passengers at the Port of Batangas in Batangas City. The campaign aims to make passengers aware of their rights in times when their trips by water are delayed, cancelled, or uncompleted.
So kailangan talaga ng public awareness para they have to be informed of their rights. Anim yun, para malaman nila. So mayroon din tayong rights in yung mga riding public natin sa mga barko din.
These rights include a refund or replacement of tickets in case of glitches on the sea vessel. Sea passengers must also be provided with free accommodation, food, ways of communication such as calling or texting, and medical assistance. The DOTR, however, clarifies these rights may only be asserted if the shipping operator is responsible for the glitches or delays in the trip.
Hindi ko kasama yung bad weather dito. Ang kasama po dito yung mga delays caused by the vessel operators.
Passengers meanwhile say they are in favor of this.
Halimbawa, may stranded kami ng ilang araw, ganon. So, di ba, dapat ang management magbibigay ng free accommodation sa mga passengers, di ba? Mas maganda yun.
Di maganda. Siyempre, everybody has the right, diba? Yun, saya siya. And I like it.
The DOTR has also posted reminders on the passengers' rights at various ports. They plan on disseminating the reminders on social media too. They also advise the public to report any shipping operator which violates such sea passengers' rights. Marina and the DOTR hope for safe trips for sea passengers during the long holiday. Victor Cosare, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Department of Agriculture continues to monitor the prices of goods in the local market. Ray Palayo explains why.
Market retailers expect the prices of their goods to go up in the coming long holiday. Fish vendor Dory sells tilapia, the price of which has slightly decreased to 80 to 100 pesos per kilogram from 120 pesos. She said the price of tilapia depends on the volume of harvest.
No, kaya lang naman nadadami harvest minsan. Yung sobrang init, biglang umuulan, medyo humihina yung mga tilapia, bangus, gano'n.
Jojo, who owns an eatery, saves 6 pesos per tray of eggs as the price of eggs has decreased. But his customers complain of the size of eggs that come in the rice porridge Jojo's eatery serves.
Kaso may nagre-reklamong customer na bakit daw maliit yung itlog.
Vivian Tagulao, an egg vendor, had noticed that the size of eggs became smaller but with the same weight when the dry season started.
Medyo lumit yung itlog.
The price of brown scad or galunggong has gone down to 120 pesos per kilogram from 170 pesos last year. But the Department of Trade and Industry or DTI said it should be 90 pesos per kilogram only. The agency also continues to monitor the price of chicken, which should be at 120 pesos per kilogram.
Meron kasing mga retailers na hindi agad nagko-comply.
The DTI is now coordinating with the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA and other government agencies on how to mitigate the effects of El Nino in the country's food production. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Dangerous levels of heat index have been recorded in several areas in our country. Let's find out what residents in these areas needs to do to alleviate the scorching heat from Grace Casin.
The heat index reached dangerous levels in Dagupan, Pangasinan on Tuesday, April 9. Residents of Dagupan City experienced the highest heat index so far this year at 51.7 degrees Celsius or 125.6 degrees Fahrenheit, according to the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA. But today, the heat index recorded in the city was only 37 degrees. The heat index measures the actual temperature felt by people by factoring the humidity levels in the area. However, residents say they felt the same heat today. That is why they find ways to alleviate the scorching heat. Some stays outdoor and stays under the shade.
Mas positibo dito may hangin. Eritipad, ang binubuga yung may di na masyado.
In Cavite, 42.7 degrees Celsius or 108.86 degrees Fahrenheit heat index was recorded in Sangli Point last Tuesday. Residents here also stays under trees for shade and make sure to bring an umbrella everywhere they go.
Tatrabaho. Ito, sunog na katawan ko sa init. Inom lang ako ng tubig para hindi ako atakihin.
And in Pasay City, a heat index of 42.5 degrees Celsius was recorded here on Wednesday, April 10. Temperature this high is dangerous, according to Pag-asa. Take the case of Charlamagne Bunchong, who said she has contracted a skin disease.
2 beses na po ako nagkapigsa. Una po dito sa noo, tapos pangalawa po dito. Dala ng init ng araw. Sobrang init. 5 araw ko na po iniinday yung sakit.
Pasay City residents also look for ways to feel cool. Some enjoy the cold ice cream and halo-halo, while others drink cold refreshments such as coconut juice from this vendor.
Ito, nakaubad, kumakain ng halo-halo para iwas heat stroke. Kasi sa sobrang init ng panahon ngayon, kailangan namin ng minom ng malalamig.
Meanwhile, the Department of Health continues to remind the public on heat stroke prevention. According to the DOH, during very hot and humid weather, limit the amount of time you spend outdoors. Drink plenty of water. Avoid tea, coffee, soda, and alcohol. Wear a wide-brimmed hat and long-sleeve clothing when outdoors. Schedule heavy-duty activities for the beginning or end of the day when it's cooler. Grace Castin, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
During this hot season, the food we prepare gets spoiled easily. Let's find out how to avoid this and at the same time how to save money from Monoxon.
As there's a big chance that food easily gets spoiled during the hot season. And since the prices of consumer products are high, it will be very costly if food gets spoiled since you'll need to buy or cook something else to eat. Here are some tips to avoid food spoilage and at the same time save you time and money. First, think of food that doesn't easily spoil like adobo, fried food or paksiw. Any food mixed or seasoned with vinegar usually lasts longer. That is why it is best to cook food with it. Avoid adding tomatoes into your food because it's an ingredient that easily gets unfit for consumption. In buying ingredients, if you do not have a large budget allocation for food, you can buy small portions of pepper, vinegar, or soy sauce to save money. During food preparation, make sure to use clean cooking utensils and don't forget to wash your hands. Cook the food evenly to avoid half-cooked meat. Remember to use a serving spoon and a clean ladle when getting portions of the cooked food. Don't put newly cooked food in the fridge because it will moisten that could result in spoilage. If you plan to eat the food you cooked on the next day, make sure to place it in a clean container. There is no need to buy expensive containers. Surely, a lot of mothers have a collection of empty ice cream containers. Just wash them properly and dry them using a clean cloth before transferring the food. For it to last long, put it in a fridge and warm it the next day before eating it. If you don't have a fridge, make sure to store the food in a cool and dry place and not where it is too hot. You will save more if you prepare packed lunch using leftover food. A beautiful smile will surely beat the hot season or even the struggles in life, a trait Filipinos are known for. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue.
South Africa's youngest DJ rocks concert goers at an outdoor event. Nina Armilio tells us why.
Vittorio Longwani, or DJ Arch Jr., likes to mix house party music for fans and often gets to play for a packed audience of mainly children in Johannesburg, South Africa. The 6-year-old has been mixing music since he was a toddler and is often hired to play at different events, including festivals, private shows, and corporate gigs.
He's the best ever! He's the best!
His mixing techniques are just off. You'd swear you're dancing to an old DJ who's been in the industry for ages.
The way he was playing, it was perfect. He played for the people we enjoy.
DJ Arch's journey into the world of music started when he was just 8 months old. His father, Glenn Longwani, a gymnastics teacher who also loves mixing music, bought him an iPad for educative games, but noticed his son was more interested in a DJ app instead. It wasn't long before the DJ transitioned to mixing behind the decks. DJ Arch went on to win the South Africa's Got Talent competition in 2015 when he was only 3 years old, which propelled him to fame.
As he continued growing up, I always had like a pair of decks at home, and he'd like come join me, and he'd be like doing like all these crazy things, watch me what I do, and he'd copy. And then until like one of his videos that I took from home went viral, and like people were just like going crazy about this kid, like, hey guy, listen, this is talent, you need to do something about it.
The grade 2 student, who's said to be the youngest DJ in the world, didn't make it to the next round of the competition. But his young career has already seen him mix in the radio shows, play at events, and win various awards, including the Guinness World Record for the youngest club DJ. Mixing music has also taken DJ Arch to several countries, including Botswana, Spain, and Saudi Arabia, among others, and offered various sponsorship deals. He is also the youngest brand ambassador for the DJ app algorithm used in iPhone and iPad. Nina Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue.
Red alert warning has been raised again today in Luzon. Meanwhile, some senators are worried over the possible scenario of brownout on Election Day in May. Nel Maribohok will tell us why.
For the first time this year, the National Grid Corporation or NGCP issued the red alert notice in Luzon yesterday. Yet again, the grid operation placed Luzon under red alert today due to the thinning power reserves. The power demand is increasing while some power plants are under unplanned maintenance operations. The result, the NGCP implemented rotational brownouts today from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. in some parts of Pampanga, Bataan, Batangas, and Metro Manila. The threat of brownouts is imminent this hot season due to the continuous thinning of power supply. In March and April, 4 power plants needed to be shut down for some reasons. A total of 1,352 megawatts was lost in Luzon. According to Senate Committee on Energy Chairman Sherwin Gatchalian, the Department of Energy or DOE should investigate into the series of maintenance shutdowns.
Una, titignan muna bakit nagkaroon ng tube leak. Pangalawa, bakit hindi pinalitan ng tube? Kaya nagkaroon ng tube leak. No? So these are the things that the DOE and PCC should look at. No? Because ayaw natin magkaroon ng cloud of doubt pagdating sa management ng mga planta.
The senator is also worried about the possible scenario of a power outage on the election day.
Normally, pag nag-outage, mga ilang planta lang, 2 planta, 3 planta. But if you're talking about 1,400, no, at maraming planta ito, then tumataas yung possibility, no, na magkaroon tayo ng brownout sa election. No?
The DOE is already conducting meeting with power plants operators to coordinate actions in resolving the problems. The Energy Department assures the public that there is sufficient power supply despite the worsening grid situation. It also reiterates the importance of its Save, Save, Save energy efficiency campaign, not only to incur more savings, but also to ensure uninterrupted electricity services this summer season. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Senator Grace Poe and Cynthia Villar continue to lead the Pulse Asia senatorial survey. Senator Sonny Angara, meanwhile, becomes the 3rd to 4th choice. Senatorial aspirant Christopher Bongo ranks 3 to 5, followed by Pia Cayetano, Dito Lapid, Senator Nancy Binay, retired General Bato de la Rosa, Bong Revilla, Amy Marcos, Francis Tolentino, Jinggoy Estrada, Senators Bam Aquino, Coco Pimentel, Sergius Menya, Mar Rojas, JV Ejercito, Juan Ponce Enrile, Dong Mangunda Datu, Jiggy Manicad, Doc Willie Ong, Nery Colmenares, Larry Gadon, Freddy Aguilar, Agnes Escudero, and Attorney Lorenzo Erintaniada. According to Pulse Asia, the survey fieldwork was conducted from March 23 to 27, 2019 using face-to-face interviews. Despite criticisms and vilifications, President Rodrigo Duterte maintains a very good rating. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Based on the first quarter 2019 survey of the Social Weather Stations or SWS, President Rodrigo Duterte's net satisfaction rating is up by 6 points. From 60% in December 2018, it went up to 66%. He has maintained a very good net satisfaction in the first quarter of 2019. The increase is seen in all areas, classes, educational levels among men and women and all age groups. The survey was taken through face-to-face interviews with 1,440 respondents in various parts of the country from March 28 to 31, 2019. Malacanang welcomes the result of this survey. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said the public feels the service and achievements of the Duterte administration, but added he blames the media for the negative reports against the president.
Ang problema kasi, ang na-highlight sa media, sa mga reporteds, whether television, radio, at newspaper, ang na-highlight yung problema sa China, yung negative ba. Pero yung mga achievements niya, hindi nakikita. Ang dami-daming achievements sa presidente.
The official also said while the government's critics and enemies keep on maligning the president's net satisfaction rating just keeps on increasing. This only shows the public is not affected. He also added that no negative force will detract the president from his goal of resolving the country's problems on illegal drugs, criminality, corruption, and rebellion. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
It has been a bittersweet victory for the advocates and petitioners who push for the tree-cutting ban around an expanding mall in Baguio City. May Bermudez will tell us why.
Carmen Penco has been a resident of Baguio City for 15 years now. She said she puts too much value on trees in the city of pines, especially that she once became a typhoon victim.
Lalo na ngayon dumadaan yung mga bagyo-bagyong malalakas. Hindi naman po pwedeng puputulin lahat ng mga punong kahoy kasi po yun nagpapalakas ng mga bundok.
During a storm last year, she fell onto rocks due to strong winds.
Ito nga po hindi pa po gumagaling.
Ano po nangyari sa inyo?
Noong nagtrabaho po ako, ma'am, pinag-duty po ako ng madam ko na umuulan, bumabagyo.
For students Cyrus and Red, trees are more important as traffic situation in the city worsens.
Traffic na po kaya mas importante po yung puno sa atin. Dahil tinutulungan niya pong yung usok.
Mas malamig siya kung mas maraming puno.
The Supreme Court has decided to make permanent the temporary restraining order they issued last March 24, 2015, banning tree cutting around Luneta Hill, which allows for a mall expansion there.
The permanent status of the temporary restraining order is without prejudice to the filing of an application for an environmental compliance certificate in accordance with existing laws and regulations.
The petitioners, however, expressed their discontent over the said ruling, especially now that less than half of the 182 trees they had fought for are now lifeless.
Sa akin lang, parang considered na bittersweet na victory yun. Bittersweet because after 7 years na pinaglalaban namin, at least may result. May magandang resulta, pero yun nga parang too late die hero. Naputol na yung karamihan ng kahoy doon. Yung 182 na kahoy na pinoprotestahan namin noon, I think 100 or more yata naputol.
Too late yung lumabas na desisyon, pero napigilan sana natin yung panggagahasa sa kalikasan ng Baguio kung umaksyon ng local government.
Baguio City local government issued guidelines last year in relation to permit issuances which require sacrificing tree life. Exceptions were made like trees which can cause imminent danger such as falling or fallen, infested, and dead can be cut. May Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Baguio City.
Discovery Season 1 Grand Winner Princess Sevillena is excited for a new chapter in her career. Mirasol Abogodil will tell us why.
It's
been a little over a year since wishful Princess Sevillana was hailed as the grand winner of the first season of the biggest online singing competition in the Philippines, Wishcovery. She has since then signed a recording contract with Breakthrough and Milestones Production Incorporated or BMPI and Star Music Philippines, launched an album together with her fellow Wishcovery Season 1 grand finalists Kimberly Baluso, Louie Ancolala, Carmela Ariola, and Ace Bartolome, and performed in a series of mini concerts in Dubai. But her future is burning even brighter as she prepares to conquer the international music scene. Yesterday, the planning stage for her journey to New York, USA for a series of vocal and personality development trainings began.
Thankful ako sa Wish 1075 family, BMPI management for giving me this chance and privilege na maranasan lahat to as bilang nagsisimula pa lang na artist. Daming blessing talaga.
BMPI has partnered with New York-based talent agency On Cue for this endeavor. On Cue is a professional agency that represents actors and models for commercial, film, television, theater, and special projects. One of its notable talents is Moises Acevedo, who played the role of Santino in the first season of the Netflix series Daredevil. According to On Cue president Cicero Oca, they will groom and gear up Princess for the stiff competition she is about to face.
We want to build Princess as a multimedia artist. Not just a singer, but an actress, a performer, a lounge act. There's so many things and so many avenues that you can do. We have a goal, and the thing is that we just need to start training Princess here, and then we'll go to the US, we'll go to New York, we'll go to LA, and because also you need to see the world in order for you to be a better artist. You're in the mix, and if you see it, you'll be more competitive.
He added that Filipino artists have a great chance of making it big in the international music scene.
We just have to be more aggressive and not complacent. And also, we have to evolve. You have to evolve as an artist, and you cannot be stuck in one place. You cannot sing the same song over and over again. Why do you think Lady Gaga or Madonna able to sustain their career? Because they always evolve.
Aside from being able to adapt to the evolving trends in the international music scene, Cicero said that Filipino artists can take advantage of the iconic Wish bus in the USA to make their music known.
You have 30 million followers in one song. You have artists like Dua Lipa performing in the bus. So it's a big opportunity because YouTube is so big in US, even outside of the US. Wish Bus is such a big platform. It's such a huge platform that we can leverage our own artists to be able to be noticed and to make it globally.
Aside from the collaboration with On Cue, the young artist's fans, the Princess Warriors, must also watch out for the release of her first ever music video for her original songs Walang Kasing Ikaw by Junji Marcelo and Pangarap Kong Bituin, composed by Jonathan Manalo. Although admittedly a little apprehensive of what hardships her new endeavor might bring, Princess said she is willing to walk the extra mile for the realization of her dreams. Mirasol Abogadil, UNTV, News and Rescue.
And to finally complete the most significant news for the day, Y News continues. Here are the top stories. WikiLeaks co-founder Julian Assange has been arrested at the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Assange took refuge in the embassy 7 years ago to avoid extradition to Sweden over a sexual assault case that has since been dropped. The Met Police said he was arrested for failing to surrender to the court and following a U.S. extradition request. Ecuador's president said it withdrew his asylum after repeated violations of international conventions. Assange set up WikiLeaks in 2006 with the aim of obtaining and publishing confidential documents and images. The organization hit the headlines 4 years later when it released footage of U.S. soldiers killing civilians from a helicopter in Iraq. Meanwhile, Indians began voting in the first phase of a mammoth general election, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi gunning for a second term, having campaigned strongly on his national security record following a flare-up with tensions with Pakistan. Kath Dumaraos will tell us why.
Security for the Indian polls was increased after 7 people were killed in militant attack in Jammu and Kashmir in eastern India, where Maoist insurgents were blamed for a bomb that killed a state legislator from Prime Minister Narendra Modi's nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party. Voting in the first of 7 rounds is being held in 91 parliament constituencies across 20 states and federally administered regions. There are 543 seats at stake. The 7-phase vote to elect a new lower house of parliament will continue until 19th of May. The counting day is May 23rd. With 900 million eligible voters across the country, this is the largest election ever seen.
It is a fervent and humble appeal from all of us in the Election Commission that more and more people should come and cast their vote so that the bedrock of the democracy becomes even more strengthened and robust.
Modi's Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party won a historic landslide in the last elections in 2014. The Lok Sabha, or lower house of parliament, has 543 elected seats, and any party or coalition needs a minimum of 272 MPs to form a government. The BJP has been campaigning to retain a commanding majority, but faces challenges from strong regional parties and resurgent Congress Party led by Rahul Gandhi. Modi, who stakes his claim to lead India on a tough image, remains the governing BJP's main vote-getter. But critics say his promises of economic growth and job creation haven't met expectations, and India has become more religiously polarized under his leadership. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
At least 2 people have died after a fire broke out at a major Bangkok shopping center complex on Wednesday. The fire, which has now been brought under control, reportedly started on the building's 8th floor. At least one of those who died had fallen from the building. Local reports and witnesses say the cause of the fire has not yet been confirmed. Leaders of the European Union's remaining 27 member countries agreed to another Brexit extension that will delay the UK's departure until October 31st at a special EU summit in Brussels on Wednesday. Such an extension should last only as long as necessary and in any event no longer than October 31st, said a statement released by the EU after marathon closed-door talks. In response, British Prime Minister Theresa May told the press in Brussels that she continues to believe Britain needs to leave the EU with a deal as soon as possible. European leaders gathered in Brussels on Wednesday for a special summit, ahead of which the British Prime Minister sent a letter to European Council President Donald Tusk asking for a further extension of the Article 50 period. An increasing chance of civil war in Libya has put thousands of refugees held in detention there at risk. Mon Hokson will tell us why.
The United Nations has evacuated 150 refugees from a detention center in Tripoli as fierce clashes for control of the Libyan capital led to the postponement of a peace conference planned for next week. In recent days, forces loyal to renegade General Khalifa Haftar have advanced on the city, the base of the country's internationally backed government.
Here in Ain Zara detention center, which has been caught in the middle of fighting for the past number of days. And people here are very scared. UNHCR is relocating the most vulnerable, so they are gathering in safer zone. As I'm speaking, I can hear there's artillery fire going on, explosions, and we're trying to move as quickly as possible.
At least 47 people, including 9 civilians, have been killed in the fighting since the launch of the offensive on Thursday, the World Health Organization said on Tuesday. The escalating situation on the outskirts of Tripoli threatens to further destabilize Libya and triggered fears that it could spill into urban warfare inside the capital, which is defended by local militias and other groups, including battle-hardened forces from the city of Misrata. As fighting rages, rights groups and humanitarian organizations have also expressed deep concerns over the fate of thousands of refugees and migrants held in detention centers across Tripoli, including in active conflict zones.
We continue to call for the safety and protection of all refugees who are in detention centers, and today it's a sign that when everyone works together, we can make it happen and have these refugees who are finally safe here at the gathering and departure facility.
The government of Prime Minister Fayez al-Serraj, who has turned Tripoli since 2016 as part of a UN brokered deal that Haftar boycotted, is seeking to repel the LNA with the help of armed groups from Misrata. The United Nations, the United States, the European Union, and the G7 bloc have appealed for a ceasefire, a return to a UN peace plan, and a halt to Haftar's push. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue.
Back to the news in the country. As part of the Philippine National Police or PNP's Oplan Ligtas Samvac or Summer Vacation 2019, 25,723 policemen have been deployed to man 4,548 police assistance desks nationwide for the security of the public during the long vacation as well as during the May elections.
Lahat ng ating mga police assistance desks and centers ay naroon sa mga bus terminals, airports, seaports at maging doon sa mga major highways natin. So meron pong mga travel assistance points along the highway, lalong-lalo na yung mga papunta ng north, south at maging sa mga major highways in Bicol, Visayas and the entire Mindanao.
PNP's Oplan Ligtas Samvac aims at ensuring the safety and protection of the public during the vacation period. The police said as the summer vacation starts, police will also be on watch against the possible use of illegal drugs in beaches and other tourist destinations. All 17 police regional offices have been ordered to step up their anti-criminality operations and patrols along major travel routes, places of convergence, and tourist destinations. In other news, the Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI, is now coordinating with the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAG-ASA, and other government agencies on how to mitigate the effects of El Nino in the country's food production. Meanwhile, the price of tilapia as of today has slightly decreased to 80 to 100 pesos per kilogram from 120 pesos. The price of brown scad or galunggong has gone down to 120 pesos per kilogram from 170 pesos last year. But the DTI said it should be 90 pesos per kilogram only. With this, the agency continues to monitor the price of chicken, which should be at 120 pesos per kilogram.
Meron kasing mga retailers na hindi agad nagko-comply.
In March and April, 4 power plants needed to be shut down for some reasons. According to Senate Committee on Energy Chairman Sherwin Gatchalian, the Department of Energy, or DOE, should investigate into the series of maintenance shutdown. He also asked to prepare contingency measures to assure that there will be no power interruption this coming May election. This as the senator is also worried about the possible scenario of a power outage on the election day.
Una, titignan muna bakit nagkaroon ng tube leak. Sa pangalawa, bakit hindi pinalitan ng tube? Kaya nagkaroon ng tube leak. So these are the things that the DOE and PCC should look at. Because ayaw natin magkaroon ng cloud of doubt pagdating sa management ng mga planta.
Based on a Social Weather Stations or SWS first quarter 2019 survey, President Rodrigo Duterte's net satisfaction rating is up by 6 points. From 60% in December 2018, it went up to 66%. This means the president has maintained a very good net satisfaction. The increase is seen in all areas, classes, educational levels among men and women, and all age groups. The survey was taken through face-to-face interviews in various parts of the country from March 28 to 31, 2019. Malacanang, for its part, welcomes the result of this survey. According to presidential spokesperson and Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Secretary Panelo, this only shows the public is not affected. A Philippine-based research group calls the latest report of the Philippine Statistics Authority on lower poverty incidence unrealistic. Joanne Nano will tell us why.
Janet Yu's husband works as part of the utility maintenance personnel in a gasoline station. He is working solely to provide the needs of their family. Janet said her husband's monthly income amounts to more than 10,000 pesos only. She complains this is not enough to pay all of their monthly expenses that cost around 6,000 pesos monthly. This covers their monthly house rent, utility bills, and allowance of their children who attend school. This is on top of their food budget and children's school fees. They are supposed to send 4 of their children to school, but because of lack of financial capacity, their eldest child is forced to stop attending school.
Pero yung sinasabi nilang 10,000, kulang yun. Hindi sapat sa isang pamilya, lalo na pag may pinapaaral. Sa 70 pesos, sa bigas, magkano? Ulam mo, pamasahe ng mga bata, baon. Napakakulang. Sobrang kulang talaga.
Janet's family is only one among the poor Filipino families. And for Ibon Foundation, a Philippine-based research group, this reflects the actual poverty incidence in the country. For the group, the recent report of Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA, wherein it says that poverty incidence has reduced, it is very unrealistic.
Maraming ng pagiging unrealistic niya. Una na lang, itinatago niya yung totoong bilang ng mga mamamayan na hindi sumasapat yung kanilang kita sa pang-araw-araw.
Based on the latest study conducted by the Philippine Statistics Authority, it turned out that poverty incidence in the country has lowered to 21% in the first quarter of 2018, which is quite far from the 27% recorded in the same period in 2015. The PSA's report also projects that a 10,481 peso monthly income is enough, so a 5-member Filipino family cannot be considered poor. But Ibon Foundation does not agree with this number. For the group, the basis of the PSA study is questionable.
Ang baba naman noon, no? Para sabihin na sapat na yon, para sabihin hindi tayo mahirap. Mababang antas ng kahirapan, mababang incidence ng kahirapan, therefore, mababang effort mula sa gobyerno para sa poverty, no? Kaya, ang tingin namin ay parang wala na yatang plano, no? Yung ating pamahalaan na medyo taasan naman niya yung kanyang pagsusumikap para iangat ang karamihan sa atin mula sa kahirapan.
For Ibon Foundation, an average monthly income for a Filipino family with 5 members should at least be 29,470 pesos or equivalent to 195 pesos per head each day for them not to be considered poor. This is quite far from the around 70 pesos per head each day budget projected by the PSA. The UNTV news team tried to take note of the incomes of a parking boy, a jeepney barker, and a beggar and compare them to that of an average worker. And we found out they're earning more than the worker.
Hindi pare-pareho kamukha ngayon. Walang tao. Yung pinakamataas 500 isang araw. Kumisan 3. Kumisan 4, hindi pare-pareho dahil sa tao.
Kaya po, nasa 450, 500 gano'n yung nakinikita.
Sa 350, swerte na pag nakakalimandaan o 500. Bali, sa ganung bagay, pinagkakasya mo.
Last year, the National Economic Development Authority or NEDA became controversial with the 10,000 pesos monthly budget challenge. But after a few days, NEDA Secretary Ernesto Perña withdrew the prior average income projection as he claimed a Filipino family with 5 members should have a 42,000 pesos monthly income for them not to be considered poor. Despite hardships and challenges, Filipino families remains to have a positive outlook in life, determined to look forward and do the best to survive. Joanna Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
A Hong Kong-born British tennis player makes what the International Tennis Federation calls a comeback of all comebacks during her round 1 match of the Great Britain Pro Series Sunderland Ladies. Asher Kadapa Jr. will tell us why.
Tara Moore of Great Britain defeated French woman Jessica Ponche after trailing 0-6, 0-5, 30-40 in their ITF World Tour match played in Sunderland, UK on Tuesday. The 26-year-old Hong Kong-born British tennis player saved the match point with a net cord winner that landed on the line before the World 479 stormed back to win the first round match 0-6, 7-6, 6-3. In a Twitter post, the International Tennis Federation, or ITF, the world governing body of tennis, said what Moore produced was a comeback of all comebacks. Moore next faces Germany's Jana Mordiger, ranked 754th in the round of 16. The tournament runs from April 8 to 14, 2019. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue.
An international collaboration of scientists has made available a photo of what used to be unseen by the human eye. Nina Armilio will tell us why.
And we are delighted to be able to report to you today that we have seen what we thought was unseeable. We have seen and taken a picture of a black hole. Here it is.
Using a global network of telescopes to see the unseeable, an international scientific team on Wednesday announced a milestone in astrophysics, the first ever photo of a black hole. Black holes are monstrous celestial entities exerting gravitational fields so vicious that no matter or light can escape. The somewhat fuzzy photo of the black hole at the center of Messier 87 or M87, a massive galaxy residing in the center of the relatively nearby Virgo galaxy cluster, shows a glowing ring of red, yellow, and white surrounding a dark center. The research was conducted by the Event Horizon Telescope Project, an international collaboration involving about 200 scientists. In 2012, they began to try to directly observe the immediate environment of a black hole. The announcement was made in simultaneous news conferences in Washington, Brussels, Santiago, Shanghai, Taipei, and Tokyo. The image was obtained using data collected in April 2017 from 8 radio telescopes in 6 locations that essentially create a planet-sized observational dish.
During the correlation, the common signal can be identified that all the telescopes have together what we call boxes and synchronize that signal in a way that the final telescope image resolution corresponds to a telescope that is as big as the whole Earth. And that is incredible, above all in this frequency.
The M87 Black Hole observed by the scientific team resides about 54 million light-years from Earth and boasts an almost unimaginable mass of 6.5 billion times that of the Sun. Is the distance light travels in a year, 5.9 trillion miles. The project's researchers obtained the data using radio telescopes in the U.S. states of Arizona and Hawaii, as well as in Mexico, Chile, Spain, and Antarctica. Since then, telescopes in France and Greenland have been added to the global network. Nina Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue.
A charitable robot paves way for children in hospitals to visit a zoo in Poland. Mirasol Abogadil will tell us why.
Resembling electronic tablets on wheels, a robot volunteer who rolls through the Poznan Zoo shows a live stream of animals and takes sick children to a virtual visit to the zoo from their hospital beds. Lucas Bodnarowski, who works for the Don Vittorio Foundation for Wild Animals, came up with the idea after his own son Boris, 8, was diagnosed a year ago with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, a genetic muscle wasting disease. Leos the robot, named after Leo Messi, Boris' favorite footballer, is controlled by a computer or mobile device and accompanied by a zookeeper or volunteer who explains facts about the animals to the child controlling him.
poziomu komputera łączymy się z Leosiem.
Using a computer, we can connect with Leos. That's the name of our electronic volunteer. We connect with Leos, and thanks to that, we can walk around the zoo, we can visit the zoo, we can watch the elephants as it were live, so the children are happy, especially when they get to see a big trunk next to the camera.
According to a hospital psychologist, this kind of entertainment is good for ill children in hospitals.
It has been known for a long time that interacting with animals relieves stress, soothes pain, these types of sensations. For each child, staying in the hospital is very difficult, and children often complain about boredom. This form of spending free time is very important and allow these children to deal with all these inconveniences more easily.
Leos is already being tested, and the aim is to eventually expand the scheme so sick children can virtually explore museums, parks, beaches, and zoos all over the world. Bodnarowski's Don Vittorio Foundation for Wild Animals plans to purchase 20 more robots. Mirasol Abogadil, UNTV, News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news this April 11, 2019. On behalf of Rina Villamor Camara and Angelo Castro III, I am William Theo, and before we close, we will recap with today's significant sound bites. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
Hanggat maaari, i-delay mo na update natin ng mga posts social media nang sa gayon ay hindi po tayo makakapagbigay ng mga real-time information sa mga nagbabalak ng hindi maganda.
Mas positibo dito may hangin. Pero tipad, ang binubuga yung may na masyado.
Normally, pag nag-outage, mga ilang planta lang, 2 planta, 3 planta. But if you're talking about 1,400, no? At maraming planta ito, then tumataas yung possibility, no, na magkaroon tayo ng brownout sa election. No?
Ang na-highlight yung problema sa China, yung negative ba. Pero yung mga achievements niya, hindi nakikita. Ang dami-daming achievements si Presidente.
This is a remarkable achievement. What you're seeing here is the last photon orbit. What you are seeing is evidence of an event horizon. By laying a ruler across this black hole, we now have visual evidence for a black hole.
We want to build Princess as a multimedia artist. Not just a singer, but an actress, a performer, a lounge act. There's so many things and so many avenues that you can do.
Thankful ako sa Wish 1075 family, BMPI management for giving me this chance and privilege na maranasan lahat to as bilang nagsisimula pa lang na artist. Daming blessing talaga.